been fooled? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Gotta like that. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. You gotta like that. The weekend is upon us. So fired up about that, huh? Corey Johnson with you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Where's Drew Brees when you need him? Ah, there he is. Welcome back on a Fantasy Friday. We got a good one lined up for you. Boy, Fletcher Mackel, we've got so much to cover with Fletcher Mackel. We moved him into the 5 o'clock power hour. Right around 5:20, Fletcher Mackel's going to join us because LSU baseball's in Omaha. That's some pretty serious stuff. The fairgrounds. Will she stay or will she go? The city and state are being pretty smart. They're proactive. They're like, this is an historic area. You only can have horse racing and a few other things here. You can't demolish the building, on and on, just making sure it stays a racetrack, a race course. It's been that since 1872. 1872. So we'll talk about that. U.S. Open Golf, which is just diabolical course, which is fun watching the pros hack it around like the amateurs like us. LIV Golf, the latest on that. They're supposed to be playing in New Orleans about a year from now. Next June or next July. Probably sometime before the U.S. Open or after it, before the British, something like that. But an LIV tour stop in the middle of the summer in New Orleans on an enhanced City Park South course. There's nothing bad about that. The Mackle boys, Fletcher and Travers, broke that story. Saints mini camp, NBA finals, all kind of stuff going on. So yeah, Fridays with Fletch around 5:20 in the 5 o'clock powwow. Hey, speaking of hours, the 4 o'clock hour this afternoon brought to you by Audubon Gutters. Now, if you look at the forecast for the next week, there's rain in the forecast each and every day. Like a 35, 40, 45, 50% chance of rain indefinitely for like the next 7 to 10 days straight. There's not one day where rain is not forecasted. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to have rain for the next week and a half. But we will have some rain. And if you have like plants growing in your gutters are hanging off your house. I mean, first off, and no offense, but kind of goes beyond, you, me, beyond ourselves. When we have a ratty looking house on the outside, it sort of kind of says, screw you, neighborhood. I don't care about my neighbors. All my neighbors are keeping up their house, but I'm not going to keep up my house. I got a guy in my neighborhood like that. Just has a, crazy front yard, no landscaping, just some weird flower boxes and, that he built himself, like only a dude would do this. No woman would say, put those there. Only a guy would do this. And then just, barbed wire on the fence and all kind of just crazy stuff. So, doesn't care about the rest of the neighborhood. Has like blankets over the window instead of blinds. Man, I want to go to Lowe's and get him like some of those like fake Levolor blinds that are like $8 each, like $8 a blind, $11 a blind. Like they're very inexpensive. Take the blanket off the window. No, so you got, folks that sort of ignore the rest of the neighborhood. A gutter just hanging off the house, bent, just hanging off the facade of the house, and it's just there all the time. It's been there for 6 months. Weeds and dirt and plants growing out of the gutters. The gutters are rusted through. They don't even work anymore, yet you leave them up on the house? Time to call Audubon Gutters. Why would you even consider going anywhere else if you're considering gutters for your home or business? Audubon Gutters, nearly 35 years, New Orleans Gutter Company. The Gulf South's largest, the Gulf South's most experienced. And they don't do anything else but gutters. I like that. They don't do windows or paint or roofs or construction or anything like that. They don't do siding or soffits. They do gutters for your home or your business. AudubonGutters.com. AudubonGutters.com. I got the Leaf Guard system. Never have to worry about paying someone to get up on a ladder or get on my roof to clean my gutters ever again. AudubonGutters.com. 4 o'clock hour brought to you by Audubon Gutters. Scott Craig from Katie's from Francesca is going to join us. Now, when Scott joins us, I'm going to get the specials from Katie's and Francesca. What's going on at his 2 New Orleans, legendary restaurants. Katie's has been around for like 40 years. Scott's owned Katie's since like the early 90s for over 30 years. It's Scott Craig's Katie's. And Francesca going on almost a decade now in Lakeview. Crazy. So sure, we'll find out what's going on at his restaurants, but I like getting Scott on because he's just like me, just a yatty New Orleanian. He's got some opinions. He stays well informed. Fridays with Fletcher Mackle, 5 o'clock powwow. Yeah, the fairgrounds and the state are, quote, in active discussions. So the fairgrounds, hey, we're not going to have the revenue we're used to having. We don't have the slot revenue. We don't have the OTB revenue. We need like a subsidy like you do for the Saints, like you do for the Pelicans, like you do for the TPC golf course in West Wego. We need a subsidy. And the state had some legislation in Baton Rouge to assist the fairgrounds, and it didn't gain enough traction and just went away. Fairgrounds folks kind of freaked out. Churchill Downs out of Louisville, Kentucky. They're the owners. Have been the owners for like the last 20 years. They're like, we're going to turn in our racing license, gaming license. We're not going to operate this season. And the state's like, what? You have to operate. You guys that run the track and got a race season starting up in November. And what? You have some quarter horse stuff going later this summer, right? So anyway, I don't know if the, state stared down the fairgrounds stance and the fairgrounds, Churchill Downs Corporation backed off because the session's over. The session ended yesterday. No, and then they said, hey, let's go to the bargaining table with the state. And the state doesn't want to lose horse racing. So it's in the state's best interest to talk to the Churchill Downs folks. Yeah, I was a little naive when Churchill Downs bought the fairgrounds. I assume this historic horse racing giant, home of the Kentucky Derby, they're going to come in and make the fairgrounds first class. And everything's going to be better. They're going to put more money, invest in the races. Everything's going to be better. It's going to be taken up a notch or two. And clear for all to see. I don't want to say the opposite happened, but not a lot happened. Nothing of my expectations or probably a lot of people's expectations. But where I went about this wrong was thinking Churchill Downs is a horse racing, racetrack company. And they're not. They're a gambling company. They're a gambling company. And the horses are just a mere incidental these days. And the racetracks are just a mere incidental. It's slots and casinos and that type of stuff. Multi-billion-dollar gaming company where horse racing is an incidental. From what I understand, at Churchill Downs, the rest of that entire horse racing season outside of Kentucky Derby weekend, a whole lot isn't going on. They're racing, but there aren't a lot of people showing up. Like there's no one there. And it's sort of a facility that is in dire need of major renovations, and Churchill Downs doesn't really keep it up per se because it's the Kentucky Derby weekend. That's the only time it has to shine. And they kind of slap on a new coat of paint and replace some eyesores, and that's it. There's no like major renovations, major upgrades because it's for Kentucky Derby weekend only. There's no one there the rest of the year, basically. So, no, I mistakenly thought it was a horse racing company that was coming in and buying the third oldest racetrack in the land, the fairgrounds from 1872. But I was mistaken. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning has been around since 1940, 85 years of excellence. I know, it's amazing. 1940, it's crazy. When you've been around 20 or 30 years, it's damn impressive. Seriously. 85 years of excellence, a New Orleans institution, Young's Dry Cleaning. Now, this one's real simple. Tired of your dry cleaner? Want to experience the best dry cleaner? youngsdrycleaning.com. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, and manless locker locations all over Metro New Orleans. youngsdrycleaning.com. 4 o'clock hour. Scott Craig next.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Total payments came June. TM-AC.com, no cool spots. TM-AC.com, no cool spots.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Yeah, you right. Looking forward to this weekend, huh? A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way in just a few minutes. You know, we blow the 5 o'clock whistle at the top of the 5 o'clock power hour every Friday. Basically just putting the spotlight on that time of the day. Friday, 5:05 p.m. roughly. You know, the work week's in the books. The weekend's in front of you. That's why we blow the 5 o'clock whistle. That's coming up in about 40 minutes. That 5 o'clock whistle each and every Friday, a little after 5 p.m., appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. As New Orleans as it gets, Katie's in Mid-City. It truly is the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, a true taste of New Orleans. Big portions, too, great for sharing, and full of characters every day that get off work like, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, filling into the bar and then having dinner. New Orleans specialties, old school, a Mid-City mainstay, Iberville, corner Telemachus. Why aren't you at Katie's right now? Hey, speaking of Katie's, Scott Craig of Katie's and Francesca Deli joining us on the program again. What up, Scott?
What's happening? You doing all right?
Yeah, man, doing pretty well. I don't mind like the pop-up shower forecast every day because keeps us in the 80s, man. June, temperatures in the 80s. I'll take that all day, every day.
Yeah, me too, but not when you're having a golf tournament.
Well, you don't want to get rained out, that's for sure. But I tell you what, it makes your patio at Katie's with the misters, when it's 85 and not so humid, makes it a lot easier to dine outside and enjoy it.
Yes, and we did have a few people out there this afternoon. The weather, sometimes it's amazing the way you get kind of busy when it's raining. But, this week has been pretty good. Yesterday was a little slow. Today was a little slower. I think people are going out of town for Father's Day, but we've got a great menu for you this weekend. If you want to come out, fried eggplant boat. We're doing that today. We're bringing that back every Friday.
What's that, Friday?
It's a fried eggplant boat with eggplant stuffed with eggplant dressing, with a piece of fried catfish, seafood cream, just a little drizzled on top. Doing a fried oyster club sandwich with basil aioli. Garlic cheese bread with fried shrimp, poor boy, dressed. Unbelievable, with Provel cheese and shrimp. Lamb chops with chimichurri sauce and balsamic glazed Brussels sprouts. Boudin stuffed double cut pork chops with tasso corn machu. Smoked brisket with fried cheese mac and cheese. And then the Hog's Perfect Bite pulled pork and potato salad sandwich. That one, Hog's Perfect Bite at Hogs. the barbecue. I'm having a fun.
Hogs for the cause?
Yeah, Hogs for the cause. Because my dear friend Sam Panisse has the House of Hogs. And he is the guy, I'm sure you've been out there, Corey.
I haven't been to the House of Hogs. Where's the House of Hogs?
It's at Hogs for the Cause. And when you go out there.
Oh, the big two-story temporary house they build?
Oh, yeah, but I don't think Sam's is two-story, but it's a whole lot.
Yeah,
and,
it's a big old house. It's impressive for temporary.
He drops a lot of money on that to raise money, and we entered the sandwich into it, and we won Hog's Perfect Bite.
Nice.
And we are doing an event on the patio June 25th with the Cajun AC for House of Hogs to raise money for pediatric leukemia. And we can only fit about 80 people on the patio, but it's for the 4th season premiere of The Bear, the show. We're going to have a big screen on the patio, and we'll be serving Chicago dogs, Chicago pizza, and the Chicago beef sandwiches. He's sending us everything to set it up, and we will be there. We're going to sell 80 tickets. It's a donation thing, but I have 50 tickets that I need to get some money for in donation form for kids' leukemia. So if anybody wants to hook up with me at Katie's, I'm happy to give you a ticket, and you can present it that night and get in, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So Wednesday night in June, I know you got nothing going on, so come on over. And remember, the boogeyman's not going to get you in New Orleans. So come on over.
What's the best website or way to get in touch with you to get these tickets?
It's all over our social media, and it's on my Facebook page. Just Scott Craig. It's on Katie's Facebook page, and my web, my social media manager has put it everywhere. So you can find it. You can donate online.
And this is every Wednesday for the rest of the month?
Just June 25th.
Okay, just Wednesday, June 25th.
Mm-hmm.
At Katie's.
At Katie's on the patio. It's really cool out there at night, especially with our Cajun air conditioner.
Yeah, you got the mist is going, pulling, going through like an ice water system, right?
Yep. The misters are running through a cold water system, and it drops the temperature about 15 degrees.
Hey, mister,
Nice.
you got the misters.
Mm-hmm. So, also, my dear friend Daryl Reeves, and he owns Andrew and Sons Awnings. They started as an awning company. Well, he's a master iron worker.
Wow.
And he creates iron artistry. And I mean, he's been all over, Good Morning America. And even he's slow right now. Until he called me this morning to check on how we were doing. The whole city's slow. But that's all right. We're good. We're New Orleans, baby.
Yep. No, you just got to get out. Folks need to get out and hit different spots. Don't go to your usual place that you go to, 2-3 times a week. Try to spread it around a little bit. Hit different spots.
Locally, local businesses, please. We need you right now.
Yep.
Yep.
Scott Craig's with us from Katie's and Francesca.
How about them Tigers?
Yeah, I got a little LSU baseball going down up in Omaha, Nebraska. How'd you like to own that rock?
That just won their first game.
How'd you like to be that Rocco's Pizza joint? I think it's $5 a shot, if I'm not mistaken. They give like $1 to the homeless shelter. I mean, the shots costing them like 60 cents or something. So they're clearing they're clearing $3+ on every shot.
Not even, probably 30 cents.
That dude's getting a new car thanks to the LSU fans after this is all said and done.
Oh, they'll buy 100,000 shots. When LSU goes to Omaha, they're set for the year.
Yeah, I don't know, Scott, like if it's what it was. Now, and I'm not saying LSU isn't who they want, and I'm not saying LSU doesn't bring the most fans, and I'm not saying it isn't a huge economic impact. All I'm saying is I'm not sure today it is what it was because of the overall growth of college baseball in general. But I remember when I was doing sports talk back in the day, and LSU was like regularly in Omaha with Skip Bertman, I would get on like a Chamber of Commerce guy, and he would just be like, it's night and day without LSU here. It's the World Series is great without LSU. It's off the charts with them. And when LSU comes back then, they were like, we pull more of an economic impact out of the LSU people than the other 7 teams combined. Now, I doubt that's true today, but they're clearly number one, and it's still the biggest percentage of economic impact. It's significant when LSU shows up in Omaha.
It is. Makes a difference. I haven't been there in years, but when LSU's there, it makes a difference in a big way.
Yep. No, millions of dollars in economic impact difference. Millions.
And it's good for us here, too, because it gets people excited about something. And LSU's always good for that.
No, Katie's is full of flat screen TVs. It's like, what's great about Katie's, it's Katie's. And the flat screen TVs are sort of an incidental, like an afterthought. But if you're like a sports fan and you're just like, I want to go to a sports bar, to the sports fan, Katie's would be like the ultimate sports bar because there's great food and drinks and atmosphere and where it's located and all that. And Francesca's baseball oriented to begin with, and y'all got some flat screens in there too.
We do, and we have TVs all over Katie's. So if you want to come by and have dinner and watch some ball games, it's an awesome place to do it.
Yep. Want to watch NBA Finals, NHL Finals, U.S. Open Golf. Lots of flat screens at Katie's in Mid-City.
Yep.
Scott Craig's with us from Katie's in Mid-City. Hey, Scott, I want to chat with you about a couple of topics, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you think about them during the break. What do you think of that?
Sounds good to me, brother.
All right. Going to talk a little fairgrounds, and at least discussions are going, with the state and Churchill Downs Corporation. When they bought the track, Scott, I was like, wow, going to be first class. And it's kind of been anything but. They're just a big gaming company. They're not, horse racing's kind of an incidental. So think about that. And also, the legislative session has ended. Not that anyone would know, because I don't think there's any earth-shattering news coming out of Baton Rouge, but maybe I missed something. I can tell you some things that they missed, that the legislature missed. So chew on those two topics as we head to the break. Scott Craig's with us from Katie's and Francesca. Hey, Latrim, the global manufacturing giant in Elmwood, is hiring. Hey, you North Shore folks, Latrim has an I-12 facility. Looking for a job, looking for a career. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint. Paint supply.
They've been racing the horses out at the fairgrounds since 1873. Literally, 1873. So for like the last 150 plus years, they've been racing horses at the fairgrounds. Second oldest track, some say, at worst, the third oldest track in America. And 20 years ago, Churchill Downs, Kentucky Derby folks bought the fairgrounds. I expected it to become a first-class operation. That did not happen. But I also thought Churchill Downs was a horse racing company when they're a gaming company. And from what I understand, Churchill Downs for about 3 or 4 days a year around the Kentucky Derby, that's when they polish it up. That's when they make it shine. That's when they hide all the warts and bumps and stuff they don't want you to see. And then the rest of the season, it's basically an empty facility where no one's showing up for most of the races. So this is a gaming company, not a horse racing company. Those times have come and gone. But the fairgrounds remains, and it has to remain, and there has to be a racing season. Some legislation was supposed to go through that maybe assisted the fairgrounds. That's what the fairgrounds folks were hoping. That legislation did not gain traction. It went away. Fairgrounds folks told the state, hey, we're going to turn in our horse racing license and video poker and slots and all that. We're turning in the license, and we're just going to go dormant over there in Gentilly. Since then, there have been active discussions to make sure there's a racing season coming up in November for sure. And I think in the summer they do some quarter horse racing. Scott Craig is with us from Katie's and Francesca. Scott, the fairgrounds is part of New Orleans, bro. It's gotta remain. They have to race every year. They just got to figure this thing out. I mean, it's different times. It's not like the past. They can't, rely strictly on horse racing. I don't know if you need to make it a music venue too, if you need to have a fall jazz fest in October or something, if you need to have restaurants at that facility that are open all the time. I don't know what the answer is. A drive-up movie theater in the parking lot, I have no idea. But the racing has to happen, and smart people getting together and brainstorming, I think, could come up with some viable options to keep it financially solvent.
I would hope so, Corey. When is racing season? Racing season, it's in the fall.
Yeah, November to like March, Thanksgiving to March.
Right. And I'm not the biggest racing fan, but I know a lot of people that are.
Yep.
And I would hope that Churchill would stay here and make it better. I know I've got a bunch of friends that I've met from Kentucky, from Louisville, that come down here every year, and they're trainers, they're jockeys,
yep,
they're horse owners.
No, they're down here for the season,
and they spend money here.
Yep,
a lot of money, and I know they do because they're in my restaurants a lot.
Yeah, it's hundreds of jobs and a big economic impact, and it's a feather in our cap. It's like the PGA Tour stop, Saints, Pelicans. I mean, it's having a racetrack. That's not every market in America.
No, but I think it's important because this is just one group of people that come to my restaurants. I can't imagine where the other ones are going. So they're spending a lot of money in this economy.
Yep.
So I know for a fact we need horse racing here in New Orleans, and to lose a legendary track like that, that's never really been what it could be. That sort of mirrors what New Orleans is, unfortunately. But that racetrack's never been as great as it could be.
Yep.
And, the times I've been out there to go see races and stuff with friends or on Thanksgiving, I mean, that's a good time, man. And I would hate to see New Orleans lose that.
There was talk of like Gail Benson maybe stepping up. She's actively, publicly stated interest in purchasing the track. But also the Saints are like, it's not for sale. And Churchill Downs folks are like, it's not for sale. So hard to buy something that's not for sale. So the state and Churchill Downs really need to work this thing out. I think even if it's worked out, Scott, it's just going to be something that works and works for Churchill Downs. But I don't think it'll be that first-class facility we deserve and the fairgrounds deserves with its history and all that. But, they got to come up with some ideas where they can diversify to make money in other ways.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's important. But I also think the state needs to work with them and have them come in and make this track way better than what it is. And, it can be better. I know that. And from the people that I know from Louisville that are here, tell me the same thing. This track could be so much better. And I'd hate to see it disappear and just be a gambling spot. I mean, it's a beautiful location.
No, you're right.
What are you to do with it?
No, you're right.
What can they do with it?
No, it's a great location. I don't know, Fall Jazz Fest in October, something to generate money. It is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Scott Craig's with us too from legendary Katie's in Mid-City, and also Francesca Deli and Pizzeria over in Lakeview. Hey, Mom, Sunday is Father's Day. This Sunday, 2 days away, Father's Day. Yeah, this Sunday. Mom, head to the Woodhouse Day Spa. Dad would like a deep tissue massage. I had one a few months ago. My only regret, I went 50 minutes instead of 80. Get him the 80-minute deep tissue massage, 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations, Mid-City, New Orleans, right around the block from Katie's. They're in Metairie near North Kenner. They're in Mandeville. They're in Slidell. They're in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. WoodhouseSpas.com. Yeah, this Sunday, Father's Day. Don't forget about Dad. Happy Father's Day, Scott.
Yes, Connor, you're taking me to dinner Sunday night. I don't know if you knew that. Happy Father's Day.
All right, there he is. Uh-oh.
Yeah, man, it'll be a fun weekend. I love Father's Day. I love being primped a little bit and taken care of. I'm going to make Connor really work.
Well, Scott, we've got news for you. Connor, let's tell him. We planned this call. Connor's going to have a kid, and it's coming next week, Scott. He's going to be a father. All right. We didn't plan the call.
Little surprise there.
Yeah. Connor's surprised by that one. Really? Oh, who's the girl?
April Fools too. April Fools in June.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Scott. Just making sure the old ticker's working properly.
The ticker's working, baby.
Hey, Connor's formulating complete sentences. He obviously didn't go to Brother Martin, right?
Oh, that's low. He's always picking on me. He's a jealous gal, Brad. That's back up. That's rough. Catholic League. You know what's funny too? I went to a Jesuit college, so I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, he went to Spring Hill College.
I went to Jesuit for 8th grade. That was my downfall. But then I corrected things and went to the Avenue, 5300 St. Charles Avenue, by the way. Not that Elysian Fields, Gentilly Street out there. It's high class, St. Charles Avenue, fellas. All right.
He's gone now, but he loves Brother Mark.
Oh, boy.
It's the people that didn't go there that don't understand the greatness of it.
Greatness? Wow.
Yes.
Grating, like, fingernails on a chalkboard. Hey, the legislative session then, Scott, anything at all jump out to you where you're like, this is a good thing or a bad thing, or just a typical Louisiana legislative session, not a whole hell of a lot getting done?
You're kidding me, right? I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
What are they talking about? I just always hope for the best, Corey. There's nothing we can do about it.
One thing I was hoping for, and it isn't like it's putting money in our pocket. Well, it is. It is putting money in our pocket, but in an indirect way, in a weird kind of way. It isn't like an economic thing, like bringing in, companies or improving education. But I thought they were going to curb these lawyers, these obnoxious advertising injury attorneys with their billboards, their radio ads, their TV ads. That they do two things, Scott. They first off, they sort of, tell people to sue. It's almost like, hey, you deserve the money. Go sue if you have a legitimate lawsuit or not, if you're hurt or not. And second, what's worse, Tim Temple said this, the insurance commissioner, on my show about a month and a half ago. He said it gives people the impression you have to hire an attorney to file an insurance claim.
Right.
It does. It's just crap.
You don't have to do that. It's bad, man. I mean, you listen to the jingles, and it's like, in a wreck, call this guy. Truck wrecks, blah, 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 slip and fall. I mean, it makes me cringe because, there's so many instances where people fake a slip and fall in businesses. It's happened in my business.
Yeah, of course.
But we have cameras. So, it's all it does is raise the price of everything. Corey, my insurance agent called me 3 weeks ago. Called me last year, and I've got the best insurance agent there is. He's a State Farm agent. Kevin Sheehan. He's unbelievable. It's the first time when I had a claim for Hurricane Ida. That is the first time I haven't had to hire an attorney to get my money. And so anyway, he calls me last year and he says, look, insurance is going up. It's like $3,000 a year.
Wow.
So it went from $42,000 to $45,000.
Wow.
That's just games.
That's obnoxious.
No problem, Kev. He calls me 3 weeks ago. Went up $20,000.
Jeez and Pete. That's like almost not sustainable.
$65,000 a year for Katie's. And you wonder why I'm sweating when we're slow in the summer? It's like everything's gotten so expensive that it's just, there's nothing we can do.
We have as many car wrecks as everywhere else in the country. We have twice as many claims. We have the same injuries in those car wrecks as everywhere else in the country. We have twice the claims. New York has 22 million people. They had 66,000 claims. We have 4.5 million. We had more claims we had 66,000. New York had 60. I'm sorry. New York had 60. New York State, we had 66,000 in Louisiana. No, we have a major problem. I had a video posted where a car just tapped the bumper of another car, and Morris Bart's suing for $1.5 million. Morris Bart would get $600,000. Just a totally erroneous lawsuit. Hey, we're coming right back more with Scott Craig.
Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
I may have to repost that obnoxious video. It's on my Twitter. I guess if you go to my Twitter at Corey Johnson and go to like media, you could scan down and you'd see the video. It essentially is a dash camera of a pickup from a police cruiser, like an Explorer or something. And the policeman has pulled over a pickup truck driver, like an F-150 or a Silverado. And the cruiser's like 4 feet behind the pickup truck. And you see the dash camera video, and it starts with the cop at the window of the truck talking to the driver. Then all of a sudden you're like, wow, is the police cruiser moving? It's like creeping up, it looks like, barely moving towards the truck. And it is moving, and it taps the back bumper of the truck and stops. So literally the police officer, by accident, left the car in drive. He must have been up, like the tire must have been up against a stick or a rock in the street that at idle held the truck there. He opened the door, got out, slammed the door. The truck didn't move. 30 seconds, a minute into talking to the, person pulled over at the window, the truck taps the bumper. Morris Bart has a lawsuit representing the truck driver, the pickup truck driver that got pulled over for speeding or no taillight or some violation. Has a lawsuit for $1.5 million. There's no damage to the truck at all. This isn't about the truck. It's about like neck and back injury for the driver. And I'm telling you, the driver didn't break a fingernail, didn't have a hair moved out of place. You look at the video on my Twitter, you'll be like, my God. This is the problem, Scott, why these commercials needed to be curbed. They need to put a choke chain on these dogs, these BS advertising attorneys, because it's a lot of exaggeration, embellishment, if not outright lies. They know it. They throw up their hands like, how am I supposed to know who's lying and who's not? They throw up their hands. If support this person, if I don't represent this person, another lawyer will. They throw up their hands. It's legal. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but ethics, morals, integrity are lacking. And it costs all of us money. All of us money.
Yeah. And that's depressing. I'm not going to lie. It's like, I remember like 10 years ago, I was picking Connor up from Brother Martin on Elysian Fields, and I was under that overpass. And it had been raining. It was wet. And I'm sitting there at the light, and this lady runs into the back of my Jeep. I had a Jeep with a trailer hitch on it.
Yep.
And, it shook me a little bit, and I got out. I looked at her car. The trailer hitch is in her radiator.
Wow.
I've got 2 scratches on my bumper. 2 scratches on my bumper. A police officer gets out of the car with her. She was a friend, obviously. And she said, hey, let me call it in. I said, hey, I'm fine, man. I'm not hurt. And I said, she's got to get all of this fixed. I'm not concerned about this at all. And she was like, really? And I was like, yes, ma'am. I'm just going
to feel bad for you, but you hit me from behind. You're obviously at fault.
$2 million? Because my neck did hurt for a week. It was just a little sore. I mean, like, I'm always sore. My whole body's sore. But I mean, it's like, I would have never done that. I didn't even think about it. I felt bad because she had a trailer hitch in her radiator.
No. See, that's the deal right there, Scott. Like, you got hit, your neck was sore, and it didn't like, oh, Scott's old school and he thinks it's 1950. Just grin and bear it and deal with it. You said, man, I'm sore and it's going to get better. And it did. And you never thought, boy, I better go to a doctor. My neck's hurt. Now it's, you better go to a doctor. The doctor's going to, well, it's your neck. I don't see anything on the MRI or the x-ray, but it's your word against mine. I mean, you could have juiced that if you wanted to. And people see the commercials, see other people taking advantage of the system. And it's a perfect example of what you just talked about. They would fake or lie or exaggerate or embellish the injury because there's an opportunity to make money that they don't deserve. It's sad. It's sad. You should be sad and depressed because these lawyers like Dudley DeBosier, Morris Bart, they're not good guys. They're not pals you want to go hang out with. They're people taking advantage of the system and justifying it. And it costs us all money. And it's pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, this insurance situation has got to be fixed.
Yep.
And, I've heard if we don't have any hurricanes for the next couple of years, it'll go down. What are the chances of that? I mean, we're going to have hurricanes on the coast. It just depends on where it's going to land.
Yep.
And pretty soon we're not going to have any protection at all. It's just hard to deal with. It disgusts me, man, because I could never, ever, ever do something like that. That situation has to be saved for when you get in an accident and you're really hurt.
No, it's
and you
exactly.
can't ever work again.
Exactly.
You've lost. You can't go to work. You're done.
No, that's
the the rest of your life of earning income. That's when you call a lawyer.
No, the person that's legitimately hurt, that legitimately got paid, that the rest of their life have to deal with some bodily injury, they'd give all the money back to be healthy again. And you got these jokers that are lying that are getting the same amount of money. No, it's like the firemen in New Orleans that would claim disability. It's like, it's sinful because they're real firemen on disability. And you're playing golf and you got your snowball stand going and you're working and go to the gym and you're on disability. Yeah, no. These immoral, unethical, low integrity, no honor, no pride practices that go on in Louisiana at so many different levels, all of it adds up to, a major spoke in the wheel on why we suck.
Yeah, you're right, Corey. And all I can say is what comes around goes around.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're right, Scott. That tends to be how the world works. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's end it on a high note. You got the fried ribs going, the smoked ribs that you guys flash fry. That's going down at Katie's or what?
Fried ribs tonight. I forgot to. I don't know why we're not doing it, but we've got beautiful grilled oysters and we've got a great menu. The boudin double stuffed pork chop tonight.
Yep.
We got our regular ribs, which are just as good.
Yep.
It's going to be a fun night. We don't have any soft shells. I don't think I got any today. He was supposed to bring some, and I don't think he got any. They're getting tougher to find. But we've got a lot of other good stuff.
No doubt. Katie's in Mid-City. Francesca in Lakeview.
Yep.
Scott Craig all over Metro New Orleans. There's Blue Boy barking up a storm. Scott, always a pleasure, brother. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Corey. See you next week.
Yep, that's Scott Craig from Katie's and Francesca. Support the local restaurants. Get to Katie's tonight for dinner. Get to Francesca tomorrow. That's Blue Boy saying stick around. 5 o'clock power hour up next. Corey Johnson with you. The weekend is upon us.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel
Blue
4
Boy.
and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5
Good
p.m.
boy.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint. Paint supply.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. 5 o'clock power hour on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. It doesn't get much better than this. A little after 5 p.m. on a Friday. That means the work week for most of us in the books. That means the entire weekend smack dab in front of us. Plus, Exactamundo, Mr. Drew Brees. This is New Orleans, one of the best weekend towns in the world. We know how to do the weekend. We know how to do Friday from 5 p.m. till Monday morning around 8:59. As good, if not better, than anyone in the world. New Orleans is Party City, USA. Festivals, food, music, having a good time. People out enjoying themselves. Yeah, the weekends, we're champs. Festivals, parties, celebrations, Mardi Gras, Jazz Fest, French Quarter Fest. No one does it better. World class. The Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 stuff, that's where we struggle a little bit. That's where we struggle, but I still love it. It's a European masterpiece. It is wonderful New Orleans. No place like it on earth. I wouldn't say it's a catch-22 because it's not like equal good and bad. I would prefer the booming economy, the unprecedented growth and all those growing pains that come with it. But you go to like Austin or Nashville, a lot of folks that have lived there 20, 30 years or more, they're like, it's not the same. I don't like the new Austin. I don't like the new Nashville. Sure, there's a booming economy and a lot of money to be had, but boy, a lot of the other things that I liked don't exist anymore. So, like in New Orleans, for instance, if we were like Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, or even like in Austin or Nashville, places like Crown Point and Lafitte would basically be like suburbs of New Orleans. And they are right now. They are right now, but they're also like hunting and fishing camp communities. I'm talking there'd be like neighborhoods and it'd be more, suburban than out in the country like it is. No, a lot of places like that in New Orleans would be that way. St. Bernard Parish, you're worrying about this container terminal? My God, if New Orleans had explosive growth like in Atlanta, Dallas, or Houston, or Austin, or Nashville now, St. Bernard Parish would be totally, developed. It'd be a lot more people living down there. There'd be a lot more industry. You'd probably have the Florida Avenue Expressway. You might have a Mississippi River Bridge at Chalmette. Second Causeway Bridge, that happened in 1969. If we were booming, we would have had a third bridge come in around 1990, 95, another one probably in 2010. The original causeway wouldn't even exist. It'd be like a mile out, and on either side, it'd be a fishing pier. The 1969 bridge, the one from the North Shore to the South Shore, that bridge would be, the second causeway is the Metairie to Mandeville. That bridge would be like emergency only. No, there's just so much. Metairie would be developed. It'd be like a CBD in Metairie on Causeway. New Orleans East might have a CBD. There'd be other part, the West Bank. No, we just never had the explosive growth at all. The opposite. Total stagnation. We are the same size in population, Metro New Orleans, the metro area, as we were 45 years ago. In 1970, we had about 1 million people in Metro New Orleans. We were a little over 1 million people in Metro New Orleans in 1970. By 1980, 1.3 million. We grew by 300,000 people in the 70s. We grew by 30% in the 70s. Since then, total stagnation, zero growth. We're at about 1.2, 1.3 million right now. We're probably a little less population. 40, 50, 60, 70,000 people less in the metro in 2025 compared to 1980. All those other places have had explosive growth, doubling, tripling, quadrupling in size. Harris County in Houston, just one of many counties that make up Metro Houston. Harris County has a larger population than the state of Louisiana. Harris County in Houston has a larger population, that single county, than the entire state of Louisiana. The Dallas Metroplex, north of 8 million people in the Dallas Metroplex. New Orleans has 1.2 in the metro. Dallas over 8 million. Dallas has about 7 million more people in their metropolitan area than New Orleans does. In like 3 to 5 years or so, 6 years, Dallas will surpass Chicago as the third largest metropolitan area in America after LA and New York. New York, number 1, LA, Chicago, Dallas, 4. Dallas will soon be 3. No, the catch-22 is, I want the growth. I want the problems with the growth. I want the traffic and all that. But that's the opposite. It's easy to get around. I mean, I was driving into Metairie from New Orleans on Vets the other day, and it was a little trafficky. And I thought to myself, my God, Just imagine if New Orleans had a booming economy. It would be like this and worse all the time, 24/7 almost. I mean, not at midnight, but 8, 9. If you're in Atlanta, 8, 9, 10 at night, Peachtree, those streets, Piedmont, they're crowded, they're trafficy. Westheimer and Houston, trafficy and crowded at 8, 9 at night. No, so we don't have to deal with that. We don't have to deal with the traffic a lot. We don't have to deal with, living like in Laplace, and you got to go visit, your brother for dinner, and he lives in Slidell, and that's sort of normal going from Laplace to Slidell. That's Atlanta and Dallas and Houston. Once a week, once every few weeks, you're making a trek from like Laplace to Slidell. Both Laplace and Slidell are in Metro New Orleans. Both are part of Metro New Orleans. Laplace to Slidell's got to be a good 1 hour drive, huh? That's got to be a good 1 hour drive. But that's just typical, everyday, all the time Houston. Laplace, Louisiana to Slidell, Louisiana. That's got to be 60 miles or something, huh? 56 and a half miles. That's the usual deal. That an hour and 4 minutes to drive. That's the usual deal in Houston, Dallas, Atlanta for folks. No, we all know folks that live in those cities. They stay in the one area. I live in Katy. They don't leave Katy. They live in their little bubble. They stay within 5 or 10 minutes of there. It's like New Orleanians. I mean, how often are you on Bourbon Street? Very, very rarely on Bourbon Street physically. You kind of stay in your little area. Corey Johnson with you, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. The fairgrounds in the state are talking. Looks like the racing season will happen. Got to bang out some details. We'll see. Fletcher Mackel's going to join us in 5 minutes. He'll have some insight on that. Yeah, we moved Fletcher to the 5 o'clock power hour because there's a slew of topics, including the fairgrounds, including LSU in Omaha, NBA Finals, Pelicans maybe trading up in the draft, Saints mini camp, U.S. Open golf, LIV golf. Travers and Fletcher broke that story a year from now. Next summer in New Orleans, like June or July. LIV New Orleans at City Park South Golf Course, an enhanced City Park South Golf Course. We'll find out the latest and greatest on that Fridays with Fletcher Mackel, about 5 minutes away in the 5 o'clock power hour. Yeah, I said 5 o'clock, about 5:15 right now. That means Trey Yen's been open for 15 minutes. It's Friday. You're heading across the lake. Don't know what you're going to do for dinner? Be a hero when you walk in the door in Mandeville or Covington, Madisonville, Lacombe, Bush, Folsom, wherever. You're on the Causeway right now. Dial up Trey Yen. Get one of those curbside delivery to-go orders. Don't forget the Tong Cho sauce. You'll be a hero walking in the door. Mom, Dad, the kids, everybody loves Trey Yen. Better yet, it's the weekend. Easy drive across the Causeway, South Shore, folks. I'm not kidding you. 25 minutes from Lakeside Shopping Center to the parking lot at Trey Yen. There's no driving on the North Shore. You cross the Causeway, immediately on your left. Chinese cuisine, Trey Yen in Mandeville. So good. Open all weekend. The only day Trey Yen is closed, Monday. That's it. Closed on Monday. Open the other 6 days, including those incredible lunch specials Tuesday through Friday, like $10-12 for lunch specials at Trey Yen, gourmet Chinese food. And you're an office manager in Mandeville or Covington. You can bring some Chick-fil-A platter or Subway. Are you kidding me? Go get a bunch of to-go orders from Trey Yen. $10-12. Feed the whole office. Trey Yen lunch specials, tough to beat. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you. When we return, another edition of Fridays with Fletch. Fletcher Mackel with a slew of topics. Don't go anywhere.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Helm Paint and Decorating. Paint ain't paint. Benjamin Moore, high-quality paint, the best paint in the world at Helm. Covers more per gallon than the competitors. Google that. And I painted my house with Benjamin Moore paint. I'll never have to paint it again, lifetime paint. But because it's Benjamin Moore and Helm, it's affordable. If I want to change the color in a few years, I can. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. Helm Paint and Decorating. They'll steer you in the right direction. It's another edition of Fridays with Fletch. Fletcher Mackel's with us again. What up, Fletch?
Not a lot, Corey. What's up?
Can you tell folks who you interviewed last hour to preview that coming up, or it has to be secret right now?
No, not a secret. The reason I wasn't in the last hour is because I was interviewing Dana White, who's the CEO and president of UFC. They've got obviously a big event coming here in July Dustin Poirier, the Louisiana-born fighter, is finishing his career here. So he was available. So I was interviewing him about the big event coming up at the Smoothie King Center in July.
I was telling folks we move you to the 5 o'clock powwow because we have a slew of topics to discuss.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good too.
All right. Let's start with the fairgrounds. The fairgrounds, basically Churchill Downs Corporation, when they bought it 20 years ago, Fletch, I was like, this is great. Big horse racing company. They're going to come in here and make this place first class. Never happened. And I kind of made a mistake. Churchill Downs isn't a horse racing company. That's a mere incidental. They're a gaming company. From what I understand, outside of the 3 or 4 days around the Kentucky Derby weekend, Churchill Downs is empty racing season. There's not a lot of folks showing up to watch the races. They kind of put a fresh coat of paint on the old place, make it look good, but it's not a lot of money invested in it because no one's there outside of Derby weekend. I could go on and on and on. Fairgrounds, Kentucky Derby folks, Churchill Downs say, you're taking away, revenue from us. We need a subsidy like you do with the Pels, the Saints, the Zurich Classic with the TPC. Lawmakers tried, nothing happened. Fairgrounds folks said they're going to turn in their licenses and just sort of the track would just sit there empty this racing season. Now the latest active discussions going on. Can you add anything to any of that?
I mean, those are the facts, and I don't think you're wrong with any of it. I think it's going to end up with Churchill operating it and continuing business as normal. Because here's the thing, look, Churchill, however you break down their business, I think had their most profitable year ever last year, and is a $7 billion publicly traded company. So wow. I understand what they're saying is Louisiana changed some of the laws for, video poker and machine gaming, which affected their margins. And as a publicly traded company, they certainly have margins they have to hit for shareholders, or projections they have to hit, I should say. And those are off. So they came to the state for a subsidy. The state has been pretty firm as far as Churchill is that we're not giving you a subsidy. And some people will say, well, you give other pro sports and other businesses, almost every business gets a subsidy. But I think that, I could go on and we could spend probably the entire portion of this conversation talking about it. Yes, the state of Louisiana is invested in the Superdome, but the Superdome is more than the Saints, even though the Saints are the primary tenant. And oh, by the way, the Saints owner just built a $35 million hospital in Metairie and gives millions of dollars a year to charity and has hundreds of people that live here, maybe not hundreds, but dozens upon dozens of people that make 6 and 7 figure salaries that are members of our community. Same for other businesses that they try to lure here and bring here. Churchill, I think one of the reasons why they're reluctant to give them a subsidy is because they know they're making money. Even if they're not going to make as money, it's their projections are off. It's not like they're a losing entity. And then two, what you just said, most of their big corporate jobs are out of Louisville and Churchill. Do you hear about them giving millions of dollars to build parks or to animal research? So again, I'm not trying to pick a fight or pick on anybody, but these are the facts that you kind of laid out. And so at the end of the day, though, there's been rumors of Gail Benson buying it because she has interest in horse racing and has had horses that race at the Kentucky Derby. It's not for sale. And so, that's the funny thing is Churchill hasn't said, well, we're selling it. Because here's the thing, is a publicly traded company, if they're worried about losing money now, which they say they are because they're going to miss some of their projections, I don't think they can tell their shareholders, hey, guess what? We're not going to make what we thought, and now we're tanking it. So guess what? That stock is going to dip even more, and we're initiating it. We're doing it. We're all in on that. That's not how real business runs. And so I think at the end of the day, they're probably going to come back hat in hand and say, you called our bluff. We're gonna take a small loss, but still operate the place as is.
Fletcher Mackel's with us. Another edition of Fridays with Fletch. Hey, Fletch, LSU baseball tomorrow night at 6 up in Omaha. Game 1 for the Tigers against Arkansas. I hate these SEC games. Poor Arkansas. They had to beat Tennessee to get to Omaha. Now they get LSU. I mean, it just sucks. It's just like, we're in the SEC, but anyway, you take what you can get. LSU took 2 or 3 from Arkansas earlier in the year before Arkansas won the third game. They'll do it again tomorrow night, right?
Yes, and look, I wouldn't be saying poor Arkansas. We may be saying poor LSU.
Yeah, I know. Same thing. I just meant they had 2 SEC games, but
And just so you know, these 2 teams are the betting favorites to win it all. Of the 8 teams that have advanced to the College World Series in Omaha, the betting favorites are LSU and Arkansas. So you're talking about a championship game in game 1.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Arkansas is 48-13. LSU's 48-15. One of them had 35 wins in the SEC. The other one had 37. I mean, what I mean to tell you, they are statistically neck and neck. LSU's pitching is slightly better. Arkansas's offense is slightly better. Like LSU's hit 101 home runs. Arkansas's hit 124. But Arkansas doesn't have the 2 aces that LSU has. So this is a awesome game. And yeah, it's one of those ones where they won't do it because it's flukish this year. But there's talk of should they reseed in the College World Series because these are the 2 highest ranked teams, and because of the way the brackets were set up, they're playing each other in game 1 when they probably should be on opposite brackets and facing in the national championship game like LSU and Florida did a couple of years ago.
Yep, but they don't want SEC or any, conference. I should say they don't want. They'd prefer not to have conference, teams within the same conference playing each other for the national championship.
Well, it's happened the last 4 years. So, I mean, the SEC owns baseball. I mean, the SEC's won 8 straight College World Series. In the last 4 have been SEC versus that. Like last year, it was Texas A&M versus Tennessee. I mean, so the SEC had 9 teams that were hosting out of 16. I mean, the ACC and the Look, I love what happened this year. You got 6 different conferences in an independent in Oregon State, and you got like Little Murray State from the Missouri Valley. You got Coastal Carolina from the Sun Belt. Look, basketball didn't have that this year. In basketball, men's basketball, the 16 teams in the Sweet 16 were all Power 4 teams. Because of open transfer and NIL, the power programs have bought everybody in all the best players end up there. Baseball kind of bucked the trend this year and showed that, some of these smaller programs can get hot and win, and that's why they're in Omaha right now, which is, again, I think fantastic. But historically, especially recent history, the SEC is the king of kings in baseball. But look, I'll say this. I think the winner of that game on Saturday night, LSU-Arkansas, is going to end up in the national championship series.
This Coastal Carolina team, they won the national championship a few years ago. They're back in Omaha again. How is that possible?
Yeah, look, they built Gilmore, their old coach. I remember when I was in college, Coastal was like an afterthought, kind of like this school in Myrtle Beach. Go there to hang out on the beach. And they got a great coach, and he built an unbelievable program dipping into the talent-rich area of South Carolina and Georgia nearby and Florida. In 2016, they came to LSU for a super regional, beat LSU, won the national championship in 2016. And they're just it's like Gonzaga in basketball. Mark Few built an unbelievable program up there in the Pacific Northwest. You get a great coach that knows what he's doing, and that's basically what Coastal has become. They're known as a great baseball school because of their coach is retired, but his assistant took over, and they haven't missed a beat.
Hey, Fletch, U.S. Open going on at Oakmont. I love these diabolical conditions. The pros get to tear it up every week at these country club courses. The U.S. Open is supposed to be the toughest test in golf. Ideally, you want the winner around par. I don't even mind if they're 1 or 2 over par. You're a baseball guy. Every week on the PGA Tour, it's a home run derby. It's 15-14. This is a pitching duel at Oakmont.
Yeah, and look, I'm watching it right now. Sam Burns from LSU is tied for the lead. He had a monster round today. He went 5 under, which is mind-blowing. I remember a couple of years ago when Wyndham Clark won at Los Angeles Country Club, it was almost embarrassing for a U.S. Open because the scores were so low. I think of like Bethpage Black and some of these courses, Oakmont's that won. Not only was it considered one of the hardest courses, they said they were going to fortify it even more this year, which is crazy. And I think that's why you're looking like Bryson DeChambeau's 8 over right now. Phil Mickelson's 4 over. I mean, I'm looking at some of these names that are like some of the best in the sport, and these guys are, struggling mightily and going to miss the cut.
Yeah.
So,
and the cut's going to be like 7 over par. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, and again, these are guys that sometimes on the tour go 8 and 10 under, like you said, at some of these courses they play week to week, and right now they're knuckling just to stay even, and so I always find it fascinating, and I think this course is just going to continue to kick their butt the rest of the week.
Hey, we got about 20 seconds before the break. Any new news on LIV Golf coming to the city?
It's a done deal. They're going to announce it, I would say, soon.
Nice.
It's pretty much a done deal. We talked about it last week, but yes, it's next year, summer 2026. It's basically a done deal that just hasn't been announced yet.
June or July, probably?
June, I think.
Okay, and obviously not this weekend. There's some time in between maybe the U.S. Open and the British. Nice.
Sure.
Yep. Fletcher Mack.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes a magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Fletcher Mackel kind enough to stick around a few extra minutes because we got a slew of topics on this Friday afternoon. Talking a little fairgrounds and LSU baseball tomorrow night in Omaha. Mention the U.S. Open. Even if you're not a golf fan, watch tomorrow and Sunday just because regular, golfers will be like, wow, I can do that. Duffing shots, shanking shots, just hitting awful shots. You won't believe it's a pro tournament just because the conditions are that tough. LIV Golf, Fletcher feels very confident. Announcement coming soon for an event here in New Orleans next summer. Hey, Saints mini camp going down, Fletch. What did you see?
Wait, I'm sorry, I missed your question. I apologize.
Saints mini camp.
Oh, look, I like what Kellen Moore is doing. I don't know if they're going to win this year, but he's a much different personality than Sean Payton and Dennis Allen. He's not a lot of sizzle, but he seems to be substance. Everybody talks about he's super smart. He's like this football savant. He's got a lot of coaches like Doug, former player, longtime coach, just been there, done that. Scott Tolzien, guys that played in the NFL, guys that have been there, done that. And it's just, hey, look, we're going to work hard. We know what we're doing. We know how to do it. Brandon Staley's one of those guys. They're just good people. And there's not a lot of like rah-rah or look, I love Sean Payton. And I know we have different feelings about him. But like, I like Sean. I like the way I love the bullying sometimes. But I felt like, he was a smart football guy, but he was into the theatrics and the rah-rah and kind of the mental pushing of it, where Kellen Moore is, hey, I'm a former player. I know my X's and O's. I'm ready for this, and I know what I'm doing. I'm going to give them a plan. We're going to execute it. But other than that, I want to take care of these guys and build some camaraderie. So they've done paintball. They did 504 golf yesterday. He's been very big on trying to create a culture of camaraderie and friendship that I think has been really good.
Everybody wants to know about the quarterbacks. So just from what I heard, I wasn't there. Rattler looked pretty good until the end of the session. And it still seems like, what is it? Shuck is how you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
Shuck seems to be the guy, the Louisville rookie, right?
Yeah, I would be shocked if it's not Tyler Shuck. And here's the reason why is, look, Spencer Rattler has a great arm when you watch him throw. But he did go 0-6 last year, and I get it. It wasn't a perfect situation, but you can't parachute people into perfect. Drew Brees played a lot of games without a perfect offensive line or perfect wide receivers, and he made everybody better. Again, I'm not saying that Spencer Rattler had to be a star last year. I just don't know if I saw enough from him to say, boy, he's our dude. And if they believed he was their dude, they wouldn't have drafted Tyler Shuck at 40.
Yeah.
40 is a very high draft pick. And so, again, it's a battle. It's a competition. They have not given anybody the job. But if it stays close and it's relatively even by the time training camp ends, it's going to be the guy that the new head coach and his staff drafted to be the starting quarterback. So, Spencer Rattler has to outplay Tyler Shuck by a noticeable, ridiculous margin to win this job. Because as of right now, they both had really good moments. They both had some questionable throws. But right now, you'd say they're on even footing. They're neck and neck, and that means it's Tyler Shuck. And I don't think Spencer Rattler is going to distance himself, in a way that makes him say, boy, we are crazy if he's not our dude.
And basically, it's a bunch of young quarterbacks. Hayner's going into his third year. Rattler is second. Shuck is a rookie. Shuck's older than the other two, though, I believe. I think Shuck's 25, right?
Yeah, they're all about the same age. They're all close to Hayner may be 25 now. But yes, Shuck is older than Rattler, even though Rattler has a year on him in the NFL.
Yep. Fletcher Mackel's with us. Hey, just a rumor, the Pelicans trying to move up to number 3 in the draft?
Just a rumor. Well, let me say this. No, it's not just a rumor. I do think Joe Dumars is going to be aggressive or is going to try to be aggressive, but he's not moving up just to move up. Like, he's not giving up. There were some reports of, they could do Herb Jones in pick 7 for Kelly Oubre in pick 3 because they love Ace Bailey, this big wing out of Rutgers. I don't think they're going to do that. I do think everybody's on the table. Again, no matter what they said publicly last week, they would trade Zion if the right deal came along. They would trade Trey Murphy. They would trade Herb Jones. But what Joe Dumars isn't doing is just making trades to make trades. Those are good young players whose seasons were derailed by injury. And I'm saying Herb and Trey is who I'm talking about. So you're not just trading them to trade them. But if they can move up with the Spurs to get Dylan Harper at 2, or to get a guy, if it is Ace Bailey at 3 that they really like, they would do it. But they're not doing something crazy, and they're not just giving good young players away. So I think they are trying to be active, but they're not just going to, make changes just to make changes.
NBA Finals, 2 questions. You surprised Indy's in the finals, and are you surprised they lead it 2-1 right now?
I'm surprised they lead it 2-1. I'm not surprised they're there because the East is wide open. And so, again, I thought the Knicks were probably going to get there, to be honest with you. But I like this for the NBA. It finally shows that all 30 teams can win championships. They've been dealing with that problem of star markets is where you have to go to win. So I love the fact that it's OKC, Indiana. But I do think Oklahoma City is the more complete team. So it does surprise me a little bit that Indiana, who's a really good team as well, is up 2-1 right now. But look, Rick Carlisle's a great coach. Halliburton's a really great player. They got good players as well. This is doing it the right way. These teams didn't go out and do anything crazy. They built their teams, OKC through the draft, in Indiana through smart trades in the draft, and they hired the right coaches, they built the right way, and now they're where they belong. I still think OKC comes back and wins this thing.
Hey, Fletch, I know we discussed it a little bit earlier, but before we let you go, what are you expecting tomorrow night in Omaha with LSU and Arkansas?
Yeah, I'm expecting a great game. And look, while LSU took 2 of 3 from Arkansas earlier this year, realize that game 1 went to extra innings and LSU had to come back in that game. So it wasn't like LSU blew their doors off. LSU did blow their doors off in game 2, and then Arkansas beat LSU easily in game 3. But that game 1 was a battle that LSU had to come from behind to win in extra innings. So, look, it doesn't matter who they pitch, Einstein or Cade Anderson. I think it's going to be Cade Anderson. But I think you're going to see some great pitching. I just think you're going to see 2 great teams. And I really don't know how to predict who's going to win because, like I said before, they are toe-to-toe, eye-to-eye, as balanced and even as 2 of the power programs that you're ever going to see. And I think LSU is hot right now and is the better team. But again, Arkansas is really good. So I don't know how to handicap it other than to say we should see a great game.
This might be the best game of the entire Omaha experience, right? The 2 best teams.
So just so you know, 2 years ago when Skeens pitched against Rhett Lauder, who was Wake Forest's pitcher, that was the Saturday night opener, and that was the marquee game. Skeens went 1 overall, Lauder went 9 overall, and it was an unbelievable pitcher's duel with LSU coming out on top. And it was maybe the best game until Tommy White hit the walk-off to put LSU in the championship coming through the loser's bracket. Yeah, this has the makings of like a 2-1, 3-2 special game with the winner in a really good position coming out of it.
Fletch, normally your day off, you're working. What's going on? What kind of coverage do you guys have going on this weekend at Channel 6, especially with LSU?
Yep, got my colleague Kendall Duncan in Omaha, and we have a special show coming up at 6:30 tonight. Get you ready for Game 1 tomorrow night. So if anybody wants to watch it, please check it out.
6:30 tonight, an LSU preview game?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice
yep.
Preview show. Awesome. Fletch, always a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, Corey. Thank you.
That's Fletcher Mackel joining us live on the program, 6:30 tonight, Channel 6. Doing a little LSU Arkansas preview show. Nice. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Speaking of nice, weekend's upon us. A good time to head to Art and Eyes on Magazine. They're open till 7 tonight. Still got time to head there. They're open tomorrow. They're open on Sunday. Art and Eyes, eyewear that's as unique as you. Not only the city's premier eyewear shop, eyeglass shop, I think you got to go to like San Francisco or Los Angeles or New York. I don't think there's anything like it in Houston, Dallas, or Atlanta. I don't think there's anything like it in the South. This is like a shop you'd see like in Paris. Art and Eyes. The great thing about them, name brands you've never, ever heard of. And that's a good thing. Eyewear from Europe, from Japan, from the United States. Super high quality, all different price points. From a few $100s for frames to $2,000 on up for frames. I'm telling you, the highest quality available. And don't let the high quality scare you off. You want to go to the mall or some chain store and waste your money on eyewear that somebody else will be wearing on the street that same day and you'll see them? Go ahead. Or go to Art and Eyes on Magazine. They have a basket on the counter. And about once a week, Star and her husband, Paul, will walk around the store. There are thousands of frames in the store. And they will pull frames off of the shelves that they think maybe have been there too long. There's a competitor where people just are buying that frame instead of this one, whatever. And they put them in this basket. And these frames range anywhere from like $200 to $2,000. And they're in this basket. And all you pay for are the prescription lenses for the frames. Those designer frames are absolutely free. The ones in the basket. All you pay for are the prescription lenses. So they've got great deals like that. And that basket's got probably 100, 150 frames in there. And then right under that basket, they've got a rollout drawer that everything's 50% off. So every price point, highest quality available, eyewear as unique as you. If you wear prescription glasses like me or need a great pair of sunglasses, Art and Eyes on Magazine, open tomorrow and Sunday. Google them. Art and Eyes on Magazine. You'll be glad you did. Now, I used to go to like Lakeside or the chain store and buy the Luxottica stuff made in China garbage. You know, stuff where you take the glasses on off by your nose, by the ear, the color wearing off. Just not high quality. Art and Eyes, lifetime purchase. Great stuff. No, glad I discovered them. I got my new prescription a few years ago, and I Googled high quality, high-end eyewear boutique in New Orleans. Art and Eyes on Magazine popped up. You Google them.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters, and you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home, and right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com. Your cool spot.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville. Yummy. A New Orleans tradition for over 40 years. Serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. It's true. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. It is Louisiana inspired. And an underrated seafood restaurant. One of the best seafood restaurants in Metro New Orleans, Trey Yen in Mandeville. Obviously with a Chinese flavor twist. But boy, they love our seafood, the Wong brothers. Trey Yen in Mandeville, so damn good. Don't forget the Tong Cho sauce. Corey Johnson with you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. About 5 minutes till 6 o'clock. 5:55, and it ain't no jive. The weekend is upon us. And for like 90% of the population, the work week in the books. Yeah, you right. Monday through Friday, another one in the books. A little bit before 6 o'clock, we have the entire weekend in front of us. Enjoy it. Smell the roses.
I love it. I mean, because, boom, in like 30 minutes, it's going to be Monday morning, back at work. Literally, huh? The one benefit, I'll tell you, the work week goes by day, like quicker than the weekend. And I don't know why that works that way. At least that's how I feel. Does the weekend go by too quick? You're damn right it does. But I mean, the weekend, we get Friday night, we get Saturday night, we get Sunday night, we get Saturday and Sunday. It's kind of nice. The work week to me, Wednesday, Thursday pop up like it's 2 days of weekend. So I think day to day, I mean, obviously the work week's 5 days, the weekend's only 2. It's going to be longer. But I think day to day, the weekend goes by slower than the work week. At least it does for me. So, yeah, you're right. The whole weekend's in front of us. I love this very time. I like recognizing it because it does go by so quickly. Time goes by so quickly. In 2 weeks, we'll be halfway through 2025. In 2 weeks. Just insane. Already in June. Hey, speaking of, we've been benefiting from these pop-up showers every day. Every day in New Orleans, we start out around 76, 77 degrees every day. And we're only getting up to like 88, 89, 90 tops right now. Not 93, not 95, feels like 107, none of that. Cloud cover, some sunshine, some clouds, a little bit of rain every now and then. Not every day. Rain in the forecast every day. But we're not getting it every day. But these summertime pop-up showers, keeping us in the 80s mostly in June. I'll take that all day long. And yesterday I'm walking Tolly in the neighborhood. It's like 7:30, 7:45. There's like a nice breeze coming out of the Gulf. It's out of the south. You wouldn't expect it to be not hot, but it wasn't hot. I'm not saying it was some cool breeze and I'm like, wow, cold front. But it wasn't a hot wind. It was nice. I was walking the dog. That breeze hit me at like 7:30, 7:45 last night. I was like, damn, it's nice out here. So, yeah, these pop-up showers, keeping temperatures in the 80s as the high in June. I'll take that all day, every day, all June long. And right now, the next like week to 10 days have pop-ups in the forecast every single day. Again, it's not going to rain every day. But we have pop-ups in the rain, in the forecast every day, and that's keeping temperatures in the 80s. In June, yeah, you right. It doesn't mean you won't need air conditioning help. Sunday is Father's Day. If your AC goes out Sunday on Father's Day, Total Maintenance is there to fix it. Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys, incapable of doing a service or repair or even replacement that is not absolutely necessary. Yeah, honest. They're air conditioning experts. I had a problem about a year and a half ago. Lucas diagnosed it on the phone. His guys come out within about 30, 45 minutes, and Lucas's diagnosis was right. They're not just swapping out parts, trying to figure it out. They know right away. And speaking of right away, they come right away. They come immediately because they know your AC is not working right, or worse, not working at all, and you're stressed out. You want it fixed yesterday. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. That's Total Maintenance. If you need air conditioning help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, even on Sunday, Father's Day, Total Maintenance is there. tm-ac.com. If you need AC help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. tm-ac.com. Now, I love Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys. So does this guy. What's that, Blue Boy? Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys keep you cool in the summer and nice and toasty in the winter. You're right, buddy. What else? Go Tigers. Yeah, I love that. You're lucky you're not at Oakmont. Why, buddy? Because you're a Bassett and you're tiny and you get lost in the rough. They might not see you in the rough. The rough's like 5-6 inches, buddy. You're right. Have a great weekend, New Orleans. See you Monday.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333.
It's a good point,
also on YouTube,
right.
on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.
Good boy.